Have you ever wondered what tales jewels would tell if they could speak? What secrets, dramas, and triumphs would they share, having graced the heads of queens, rested in empresses' coffers, and witnessed destinies unfold at high-stakes auctions? Today, we'll pull back the curtain on the story of one of the British Crown's most exquisite and cherished jewels, a piece that became the very emblem of an era. The monarch's jewelry vaults brim with masterpieces, each possessing its own singular history. Queen Elizabeth II, whose long reign spanned pivotal moments in history, was the custodian of one of the world's most breathtaking collections. In her mature years, her undisputed favorite was the famed Vladimir Tiara, majestic and monumental, renowned for its interchangeable pear-shaped pearl or emerald drops. This diadem, rescued from the inferno of the Russian Revolution, once belonged to Grand Duchess Maria Pavlovna, aunt of the last Russian emperor. Its austere yet opulent design, composed of intertwining diamond circles, perfectly harmonized with Elizabeth's image as a wise and seasoned monarch, a symbol of national steadfastness. It was substantial, imposing, and undeniably regal. But it wasn't always so. In her youth, as the world was just getting accustomed to the image of its young queen ascending the throne, her heart belonged to another jewel, one far lighter, more ethereal and delicate, as if spun from hoarfrost and moonlight. This was the tiara known as the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland, and beneath its fragile beauty lies a remarkable tale of love, duty, and devotion. But to understand how this diamond lace found its way into the royal treasury, we must journey back to the late 19th century, to an era when the formidable Queen Victoria, the grandmother of Europe, still reigned. Her daughter-in-law, the Princess of Wales, was Alexandra of Denmark, sister to the Russian Empress Maria Feodorovna. In 1893, the royal family was preoccupied with a pressing dynastic matter, the marriage of the heir to the throne. Initially, this was Alexandra's eldest son, Prince Albert Victor, the Duke of Clarence. However, his untimely demise from influenza in 1892 placed his younger brother, Prince George, the very man whose resemblance to his cousin, the future Russian Emperor Nicholas II, was truly astonishing, second in line to the throne. A suitable bride was urgently needed for him, and the choice fell upon a young princess who, in essence, was considered to have no dowry. Her name was Mary of Teck, or May, as she was known to her family. She hailed from a morganatic branch of the German House of Württemberg, and her standing at European courts was rather precarious. Princess May, however, possessed one undeniable advantage. She had grown up in England under the patronage of Queen Victoria herself, and was well acquainted with the entire royal family. What's more, she had originally been betrothed to the late Prince Albert Victor. Victoria and Alexandra saw in the serious, sensible, and grounded May a calming influence that could temper the impetuous and scandal-prone Albert. Fate, however, had other plans. After the tragedy, Queen Victoria decreed that the best match for the new heir, the modest and responsible George, would be none other than his late brother's fiancée. For the young princess, this was an incredibly awkward and delicate situation, yet both she and Prince George submitted to the powerful monarch's will. George, unlike his elder brother, was a man of duty, calm and dependable. And over time, a deep mutual understanding and genuine affection developed between him and May. A touching story from their wedding day, July 6, 1893, has been preserved. Happening upon his bride in a Buckingham Palace corridor, already resplendent in her magnificent wedding gown, Prince George, struck by her beauty, paused and gave her a deep, respectful bow. This chivalrous gesture melted May's heart, dispelling all her stiffness and embarrassment, filling her with trust and respect for her future husband. This marriage, forged for dynastic reasons, ultimately proved to be remarkably happy and enduring. The wedding of the heir to the British throne was an event of national significance, and the newlyweds were literally showered with gifts. Among them were many magnificent jewels, but one particular gift stood out, not so much for its monetary value as for its origin. It was a tiara presented to the bride on behalf of a committee called the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland. The committee, led by Lady Eva Greville, organized a nationwide fundraising effort. Thousands of young women from across the country contributed, raising an impressive sum for the time, more than £5,000 sterling. This was truly a gift from the people, a symbol of love and devotion to their future queen. The order for the tiara's creation was placed with the oldest and most esteemed jewelers, Garrard and Company, official suppliers to the British court since 1843. The jewelers crafted a true masterpiece. It was a convertible piece of jewelry, a very fashionable trend in the late 19th century. The tiara was designed in the then popular festoon and fleur-de-lis motifs, garlands and heraldic lilies, entirely encrusted with old-cut diamonds set in silver on a gold base. It appeared incredibly light and ethereal. Initially, it was topped with 14 large pear-shaped pearls, giving it a more traditional and regal appearance. The tiara could be worn as is, or removed from its rigid frame and worn as a necklace. Moreover, the lower part, a band featuring a geometric pattern of diamond rhombuses, was also detachable. Thus, several pieces of jewelry were created in one: a full tiara, a lighter bandeau tiara, a headband, and a necklace. Princess Mary, who later became Queen Mary, was a tall, stately, and majestic woman. Perhaps it was due to her being dowerless in her youth that after her marriage, she developed a passion for collecting jewels. She possessed impeccable taste and an eye for unique pieces, and it was thanks to her that the British Crown's treasury was enriched with many legendary jewels, including the aforementioned Vladimir tiara and the famous Cullinan diamonds. Against her imposing figure, the light and delicate girl's tiara seemed somewhat lost. Queen Mary preferred more substantial, taller, and monumental diadems that suited her status and appearance. Although she did appear in this wedding gift from time to time, as captured in some photographs, her favorites were other pieces. In 1914, Queen Mary decided to alter the tiara's design. She approached Garrard and Company with a request to remove the 14 large pearls crowning the tiara and replace them with 13 brilliant, round-cut diamonds. This decision proved to be a stroke of genius. The tiara shed some of its old-fashioned air, becoming even more ethereal, lighter, and truly lacy, transforming into a sparkling cascade of pure light. And the removed pearls weren't wasted. They found their place in another equally famous diadem, which Queen Mary commissioned in 1913, the Lover's Knot tiara, the very one that later became a beloved adornment of Princess Diana and subsequently Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Thus, the updated and even more exquisite Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara awaited its moment in the royal vaults. Its first owner treasured it as a beloved gift, but rarely brought it out into the spotlight. Fate was preparing a new role for this jewel, to become a symbol of a new era and the cherished gem of a new queen. Queen Elizabeth II inherited most of her grandmother's jewelry after her death in 1953. But the girl's tiara was an exception. History repeated itself. Queen Mary presented this jewel to her beloved granddaughter, Princess Elizabeth, as a wedding gift in 1947 when she married Prince Philip. For the young princess, with her delicate figure, finely chiseled features, and radiant smile, this tiara was an ideal choice. Unlike her stately grandmother, Elizabeth was of modest height, and massive diadems would have looked cumbersome on her. But this open-work diamond lace perfectly accentuated her youth, freshness, and elegance. Elizabeth fell in love with this jewel and affectionately called it Granny's tiara. This tiara became her faithful companion for many years. It is precisely with this tiara that she is depicted in her very first portraits as queen, which appeared on banknotes and coins of Commonwealth countries. She wore it on countless state tours, official receptions, and banquets. In the early years of her reign, Elizabeth often wore the tiara in its lighter form without the lower bandeau base. This made the jewel even more lightweight and akin to a delicate sparkling ribbon in her hair, perfectly suiting the fashion of the 1950s and 60s. However, in 1969, the Queen decided to reunite the tiara with its base. Perhaps over the years, having gained even greater confidence and status on the world stage, she felt she needed a more substantial and elevated silhouette. In its complete form, the tiara appeared more formal and regal, yet never lost its innate grace. Throughout her entire reign, Elizabeth II returned to this tiara again and again. Even in her advanced years, when the Vladimir tiara became her favorite, she occasionally appeared in public wearing Granny's tiara, as if paying homage to her youth and happy early years on the throne. For over 70 years, this tiara was inextricably linked with the image of one woman. It was a silent witness to meetings with world leaders, opulent ceremonies, family celebrations, and historical transformations. It saw a young princess transform into the longest reigning monarch in British history. But great jewels outlive their owners, becoming a bridge between generations. After the passing of Elizabeth II, the crown's treasury passed to a new monarch, and the world held its breath in anticipation. Who would now wear this iconic jewel? The answer was not long in coming. In October of 2023, at a grand reception at London's Mansion House, the new Queen Consort, Camilla, made her first public appearance wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This choice was profoundly symbolic. By donning the late Queen's most recognizable and personally significant jewel, Camilla did more than just signal access to the royal vaults. It was a gesture of profound respect, a recognition of legacy, and a clear demonstration of continuity. It was a sign that the traditions established by Elizabeth II would be carried forward. Thus, the diamond lace, gifted 130 years ago by young women to their future queen, began a new chapter in its long and illustrious history. From a gift from the people for a humble princess to the cherished adornment of a legendary queen, and now the emblem of a new royal era, this tiara has embarked on an extraordinary journey. It is not merely an assemblage of precious stones and metal. It is history made manifest, a chronicle crystallized in diamonds, charting love, duty, and the shifting tides of eras. These jewels are silent witnesses, yet in their cold shimmer, they cradle the warmth of human stories. And gazing upon them, one can't help but ponder, beyond their monetary worth, what true price do these treasures command? And what immense weight of history rests upon the shoulders of those destined to wear them? Thank you for watching. If this tale captivated you and you are eager to uncover more secrets of royal jewels, then be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which piece of jewelry, in your estimation, holds the most compelling story? We would love to hear your opinion.